This is Shelley Kraft coming to you live on SNN Live. We're at the New Orleans Investment Conference 2016. With me is Nick Hodge from the Outsider Club. He's a newsletter writer and he's a speaker at this conference. Nick, welcome back to SNN Live.
Shelley, always a pleasure to see you.
Good to see you too. Let's get started. What are you speaking on here?
I was on the mining panel yesterday. We talked about the state of the mining shares and in the mining sector and the direction of precious metals and energy metals. And then I gave a talk really on why I'm an outsider, why I became to be a gold bug after starting in the energy sector. And then I gave a workshop on 4 resource stocks that I think retail investors should own for the upcoming market. And then I'll also be on the energy panel as well upcoming here.
Let's talk about energy metals, if you would.
Sure.
Give us a rundown and a little bit of an overview on it, and let's get a little specific too.
Yeah, well, the obvious thing is lithium, right, for batteries. We have, everybody has a smartphone in their pocket nowadays. Electric vehicle sales are forecast to pick up in a dramatic way. And so we need an increase in supply of lithium to make all these batteries. But there's a host of metals and minerals that go along with that, right? There's more graphite in a lithium battery than there is lithium. There's more cobalt in a lithium battery than there is lithium. And so there's a host of other metals that go along with this, rare earths too, in fact. So there's a suite of metals that are going to be needed in the future to build out these batteries and also the infrastructure for renewables, things like copper as well.
So how are those stocks responding in this current market?
Well, I think lithium has been one of the best performing commodities of the year. We've seen a lot of companies run up, in fact, several thousand%, whereas gold companies are up, several 100%. So there's a price disparity right now, right? The lithium price is running up because a supply gap is emerging, and so the commodity price is rising. So producers are incentivized to bring more online, and so you have sort of a rare earth situation being recreated from 2007, where a lot of companies are now rushing in and staking claims, and all of a sudden there's 50 companies traded on the TSXV with lithium in the name.
That happens.
Oh, that's the nature of the mining sector, right? It ebbs and flows. It comes in cycles, and it's maybe a different metal, but the story's the same.
Who's the biggest buyer of lithium?
Oh, I would have to imagine it's the big battery manufacturers. I'm not going to say off the top of my head which the biggest is, but you have the Samsungs of the world, the Panasonics of the world, and soon to be the Teslas of the world with the Gigafactory they just built in the Nevada desert.
And then where is the big supply coming from? Which country?
So the largest supplier, I believe, of lithium is Albemarle, who combined with Rockwood and the dominant player in the Clayton Valley. There's also some hard rock assets in Australia that produce a significant amount, and most of that goes to Asia. And it's important to note that lithium comes from a variety of sources. It can come from salt brines, it can come from hard rock, and it can theoretically come from clay, though no clay-based assets have come online as of yet.
And would you say that the price is going to maintain even though the supply is going to go up?
I think it'll maintain for a little while because supply doesn't come online imminently, right? There needs to be tests, there needs to be studies, there needs to be permitting, and these things don't come on overnight. And so I think until some new supply really hits the market, then the price should stay at a level where the producers are incentivized to bring new supply online.
Tell me a little bit about what's going on with the newsletter.
Oh, there's lots of stuff going on with the newsletter. So it's Outsider Club, of course, is the free one. I write Early Advantage on a weekly basis. I just hired a gentleman named Gerardo Del Real to focus on the resource sector because we see a bull market coming. So he's writing a letter called Resource Stock Digest Premium. And in fact, I just announced for the first time publicly here at the New Orleans show that we'll soon be exclusively selling Mr. James Dine's letter on a forward basis starting now.
And he's well known in the business, isn't he?
I think a few people know Mr. Dines, yes.
What's your website? Let's give it out to the audience.
It's outsiderclub.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Hodge, Outsider Club, newsletter writer, speaker at many conferences. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNN Live, and we're coming to you live from the New Orleans Investment Conference 2016. Nick, always a pleasure.
Oh, no, my pleasure, Shelley. Thank you.